Harihi Om. Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai Chatasyai Janakatmajayai Namostu Rudrendra Yamanilibhyaha Namostu Chandrarka Marudgadebhyaha Sarvebhya Namaskaraha. Today I am going to cover Sargas 47, 48 and 49. These sargas actually make us feel very sad for Sri Rama, Lakshmana and Sita because they are going through untold suffering. And the way they demonstrate no selfishness but an utter sympathy for one another. This is very important for us. In Sarga 47, Valmiki describes how Hanuman and others stood guard over Sri Rama and Lakshmana, who were lying bound in Nagapasha, unconscious, and the Vanaras were fiercely vigilant, holding big trees as weapons. Anytime any Rakshasas come, they would strike them. Any little sound also, they would immediately react, thinking it must be coming from Rakshasas. In the meanwhile, Ravana sent for the Rakshasis who were guarding Sita. He informed Trijata and the other Rakshasis how Indrajit had killed Sri Rama and Lakshmana. They should go and give this news to Sita. Take her in the Pushpaka Vimana and show her the brothers lying dead on the battlefield, so she will know that they are dead. Yadashrayad avashtabdha neyam mamupatishthate sosya bharta sah bratra nihato ranamurdhani. To whom this Sita was bound and held out hope for herself and refused me, let her now know that her husband has been killed in battle along with his brother. Nirapeksha Vishalakshi Mam Upasthasyate Swayam. Seeing for herself her husband dead, the large-eyed beauty Sita will give up all her expectation and affection for him and come to me and be with me voluntarily. The Rakshasis received this order from Ravana, said Amen, and went to Sita and took her in the Pushpaka Vimana. Trijata and others accompanied Sita in her aerial survey from the Pushpaka Vimana. Sita was inconsolably grieving. They also gave her a brief tour of the splendid city of Lanka with its festoons and flags. As they went up to the battlefield, Ravana arranged for the whole of Lanka to be informed that Sri Rama and Lakshmana lay dead, to the accompaniment of celebratory drumbeats. Sita herself could look over the battlefield now and saw the Vanaras surrounding Sri Rama and Lakshmana grieving. She got a good look at the brothers pierced with 1,000 arrows. Their bows and arrows were cast away. They both looked like dolls made with arrows. Sharas Tambamayo Kshitau. Sita could not bear to see the sight. She burst into loud wailing. She felt that the godlike, radiant, and greatly valorous brothers were now lying down lifeless. Her grief punctuated her words that came out now in a burst. Sita imagined the worst and mourned terribly the demise of Sri Rama and Lakshmana as only a woman in her position would. Trijata told her to examine closely and notice the signs on Sri Rama's and Lakshmana's face. Let us see how Sita wails now. Bhartaram nihatam drushtva Lakshmanam cha mahabalam vilalapa bhrisham Sita karunam shokakarshita ऊचुः लाक्षणिका ये माम उत्तृण्यविधवेति च तेज्य सर्वे हते रामे ज्ञानिनो अनृतवादिनः. I was told by great wise men, Sita is mourning. I was told by great wise men who knew astrology. When I was young, I was told that I would bear children and never become a widow. They have all now been proved to have spoken lies. Now that I am seeing Sri Rama dead, they told me my husband would perform great yajnas and rule this kingdom wonderfully. They have all been proved to be untruthful. They told me I would become a great queen and would be venerated by my king of a husband. Alas, how untrue they were. Sita now lists all her own physical attributes, which are all signs of auspicious beauty according to Anga Shastra, in much intimate detail, which knowledgeable people had pointed out when she was young, saying that these attributes would all augur great marital happiness and prosperity for Sita as a queen. Alas, how untrue their words had now come. Sita recalls with much feeling how Sri Rama and Lakshmana took such great care of her in Janasthana, and later they even built a bridge over the ocean to come and take her back after her abduction. What a trivial way for them now to die at the hands of some Rakshasas. All those divine weapons like Agneya, Varuna, Indra, Brahmashiras, which they possessed, were not even deployed by them in the war before they died. What a terrible irony that they were killed by Indrajit, who resorted to Maya and shot at them after becoming invisible. Indeed, if he had become visible, he would not have survived Sri Rama's arrows. It shows that Kala or fate is supreme, and even Sri Rama has been subjugated by fate along with his brother. Sita is grieving bitterly for Kausalya, who is fondly awaiting her glorious son's return to Ayodhya after completing his 14 years of Vanavasa. At this point, Trijata stops Sita. Look, Devi Sita, please observe carefully. Sri Rama is still alive. Karnani cha vakshyami, mahanti sadrishani cha, yathemau jivito Devi bhratarau Rama Lakshmanau. Sita, let me point out to you the clear and significant signs that we should observe to decide that Sri Rama and Lakshmana are both still alive. Look at their bodily marks. Look at the body language of the Vanaras. They are stalled. The Vanaras are displaying a fighting spirit and have not come to a sense of desolation. That means their Supreme Lord is still alive. Even this Pushpaka Vimana is a sacred vehicle. It would not have carried you if you had been rendered a widow and to come and witness the corpses of your husband and brother-in-law. Pushpaka Vimana, being a divine vehicle which had been manufactured for Kubera, is not going to be used for such funereal trips. Also, see that the Vanaras are vigilantly guarding the two brothers. That means the brothers are still alive. Believe me, Sita, they are both alive. Trijata says she has never resorted to and so Sita should trust her. Trijata says that over a period of time, Sita has become very dear to her, owing to her nobility of character and great conduct in spite of the duress under which Ravana has subjugated her. After all, Trijata says that no gods or demons can kill a glorious, divinely powerful man like Sri Rama and Lakshmana in battle. She can clearly see the signs of their invincible glory. Their faces are radiant still, she says. Drushyamaneshu vaktreshu param bhavati vaikrutam. The faces of dead men have telltale signs of death. There is no such indication in the two brothers. Therefore, the brothers are not dead. And Sita should get out of this distress. Momentarily, Sita is consoled. She folds her hands and thanks Trijata. They are all soon returned to Ashokavana in the Pushpaka Vimana. Sri Rama, in the meanwhile, regains consciousness. Valmiki says this is because of his great physical constitution and his mastery of yoga. Valmiki pointedly says, because of Sri Rama's mastery of yoga, he is able to regain his consciousness. Sri Rama sits up and starts weeping when he sees Lakshmana's condition. Kimnu me sitaya karyam labdhaya jivitena va shayanam yodhya pashyami bhrataram yudhi nirjitam. Alas, of what use is now my trying to free Sita and getting her back alive? Now that I see Lakshmana lying defeated in battle like this. Shakya Sita samanari martyaloke vichinvata na Lakshmana samo bhrata sachivaha samparayikaha. If one searches the whole world thoroughly, probably one may be able to find a woman as glorious as Sita. But it is impossible, Sri Rama says, but it's impossible to find a dear brother, a wise, confident, and a military strategist all rolled into one, like my reliable and dear brother Lakshmana. Sri Rama avers that if Lakshmana passes away, Sri Rama will give up his life right in front of these Vanaras. How will Sri Rama return to Ayodhya and explain to Kausalya and Kaikeyi that Lakshmana is no more? How will he face Sumitra with her heart aflutter in waiting for the return of her dear son? How will Sri Rama face her, console her? How will he break it to her and to Bharata and Shatrughna that Lakshmana, who had come away with him to take care of him, is no more? Sri Rama says he cannot face the mothers. He will give up his. Sri Rama blames himself totally for Lakshmana's defeat and lying almost dead. Gatasuvat, he says. Lakshmana had always bolstered Sri Rama's mood and encouraged him about the future whenever Sri Rama felt lost or dejected. Now Lakshmana is unable to even. Lakshmana had fought so bravely with all the Rakshasas and had been such a terror, but now he was himself laid low. Just as Lakshmana used to follow Sri Rama in the forest step for step, Sri Rama says that he will now follow Lakshmana to Yamaloka. Lakshmana was equally adored and revered as Sri Rama by every near and dear one in their family and friends. Now Lakshmana had driven Sri Rama to this state of loneliness. Lakshmana had never spoken in anger or used harsh words to Sri Rama. He was more adept at archery than even Kartivirya Arjuna. In fact, even he compares him to Kartikeya, a warrior capable of defeating Indra in battle, who deserved to sleep in royal beds. Now is Lakshmana lying down on a bed of arrows on the battle. Alas, Sri Rama says his promise of crowning Vibhishana has been belied, and this now shows how hollow his promise. Sri Rama says, O Sugriva, please return to your kingdom at once. Do not allow Ravana to mistreat you, as I will be gone. Please, I will give up my life. Please take all your army, all weapons and equipment, and follow Angada, Neela and Nala over the bridge. Sri Rama individually thanks all the Vanara and Bear warrior chiefs by name, profusely, as stating their acts of bravery and selflessness so far. He says fate has had the last word. Sugriva had done everything in his power to help Sri Rama's cause, but now this turn of events had come about. The Vanaras are now shedding copious tears, listening to Sri Rama and experiencing the same mood of dejection. Vibhishana, in the meanwhile, had gone away to organize the large Vanara army, and he now reappears. It is dark, and when they see this huge Rakshasa coming back with weapons, all the Vanaras are scared, thinking that Indrajit has come once again. This is the end of Sarga 49. Sri Rama Jai.